Gentlemen, I want to get into this topic. Now, this topic is going to have some PlayStation 5 flavor on the back end of it. Now, granted, folks, look, Starfield is, in my personal opinion, and you can push back if you disagree, that's fine, one of Bethesda's best releases ever. It released, and just going back in history, a lot of their games released because they had to. And when a game has to release, right, that comes with some baggage. Usually, Jamie, that's bugs. And that's why they've been known for years as Bugthesda. Now, people say that, with an endearing kind of, like your noogie, your younger brother kind of a thing. But their games do have bugs. Let's be clear here. Starfield, yes, it did have some bugs, especially when you came to saving, which is why I saved. I had hundreds of saves. It was ridiculous how many saves I had, in fear of getting a bug that erases one of your major accomplishments. And if I had a save from 15 minutes ago, no big deal. I have a save from 5 hours ago, I got a problem, right? Well, Starfield came out, Jamie. We know how you feel about Mass Effect, so I would imagine that that invokes how you feel about Starfield, which is awesome, right? But it came out and it did a lot of big things, and it did a lot of big things right. The game was gorgeous, ran great. It told the story that you crafted. Yes, there is an overarching Starborn, time traveling, how many versions of yourself are out there in the ether. That story exists. But the in-between and how you personally handled these side quests and these encounters literally changed the game for every player. That is incredibly unique. The game continues to be supported. We had a DLC come out last year that a lot of people did not like. I absolutely loved every second of it. And we have a new DLC potentially coming this year on its 2-year anniversary called Starborn. Now, again, a couple of weeks ago, we heard that there is going to be massive news coming for Starfield. Now, this is great for current players. This is great for players that have put it down and walked away and will return when new content is added, when a new expansion is added, Jamie. But on the back end, now, of course, I got to bring up one of the community's absolute finest. You should know him. He was definitely integral in potentially not only giving really good behind-the-scenes law information, but explaining it where people like us, because I understand the law, but not the business side of it. And it was very digestible. I'm talking about Post Up _SOG. Good friend of the channel, great friend of the community. Well, he posted something that was very, very interesting. And this is what it says, folks. Starfield is set to make its debut on PS5 and PS5 Pro enhancements. This is a screenshot from the Starfield app update, and it's been updated with the PlayStation logo. And folks, I'm looking at it. I could bring it up if you guys and gals want to see it. You know what? Let me just, for context and shits and giggles, let me just do a quick screen share for you so you can see exactly what I am talking about. Folks, now I'm going to blow it up on the screen from Twitter, so bear with me so you can see. This is from the Starfield app. Now, I don't know whether this is whether it's Apple or whether it's Android, but nonetheless, as you can see, it clearly states available for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And basically, cat's out of the bag, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually happening. And look, we've been talking about this for weeks now. This should not be a surprise to anyone. It shouldn't, because guess what, folks? Microsoft and Xbox are going third party. This game, Jamie, will be 2 years old this September. Okay, it's coming to PlayStation. I have a strong suspicion, very similar to what you saw with Forza Horizon 5, this game, this Bethesda exclusive that will now be available not only for PlayStation 5, but have also PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. And I'm assuming it's going to run parallel to what the Xbox Series X version is doing, is going to make a splash on PSN. And I really think it's going to be number one across the world on all PlayStation stores. And here in the States, I have a strong suspicion that there will be several versions. All of those versions will be in the top 10 of most paid for games. It is an exclusive that has been sitting and doing very well on Xbox. I have a feeling it's going to do just as well on PS5. Let's get your thoughts on the expected big news this year from Bethesda regarding Starfield and its potential DLC. But more importantly, what are your thoughts on, well, the basic confirmation that it's coming to PS5?
I'll get the multi-platform stuff out the way first, because I think people want to hear more about the expansion. But the multi-platform stuff, look, it's been out this year. It'll be 2 years. And like, if people wanted to play it, they'll have played it, right? So like, it's not a big deal in my opinion. I use this term a lot on Twitter, and I use the term forced hate. Starfield has had this constant wave of forced hate since before it was announced. And by the way, next time I post that term on Twitter, look at the replies. Salty replies. Because like, every time I post about Starfield, I could be posting the most mundane thing. Hey, look, check out this cool moon with like, a nice skyline. Hey, look at this spaceship battle, right? People are livid. People are angry for no reason. And the straw that broke the camel's back for Bethesda RPGs just happened to be the one game that was exclusive to a Microsoft console. No, the truth is, people were jealous. People were jealous that a new Bethesda game was exclusive to an Xbox. That's the truth, right? People refer to, Bethesda games as Bugthesda, like you said. I had one bug in my entirety of 100+ hours playing Starfield. And you know what that was? A door wouldn't open, and all I had to do was reload the last autosave, which was about 30 seconds prior to the issue, and it was solved. Right?
Nice.
So,
you know what I had? I had one weird one where one of the rocks out in space like got attached to the back of my ship, basically. Yeah, and it just kept following me around for a long time until eventually it just disappeared. I'm like, okay. It took like hours, but it went on its own.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar bug in Fallout 4 last year where a corpse wouldn't detach from my body.
He was like, I can't quit you.
So like, I had to, and the thing is, I couldn't fast travel with this corpse attached to us, so I had to literally walk across the entire map to get in my suit. But I mean, Fallout 4 had its issues, but my God, I love that game. But with Starfield, like, I had like that one bug, and the wave of hate started before the game even came out. People were hating on that. Like, I would post clips of, like, Microsoft posted that 15-minute clip of Starfield, what you could do, how many solar systems are in the game, how many planets are in the game, and I'd post little clips of these, and people would be livid, losing their marbles, right? You'd think that you'd punch their grandmother in the face and stole the money, right? Just because I was posting about Starfield, right? So, like, people are just obsessively angry about Starfield. It really annoys me. So, like, that's why I use the term forced hate, because, look, if Starfield was this buggy, like, look at Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk in 2025 is known as this amazing next level RPG. But do you know what happened when it came out? It was broken beyond belief.
Yeah.
And people made fun of, like, hell, when the game was fixed in 2022, it was fixed a week before Elden Ring came out. And I was posting about it because I waited for the patches and the next gen upgrade. So when I was posting about it, I was like, hey, they fixed the game. It's amazing. I was accused of being paid off by CD Projekt Red because I was enjoying Cyberpunk, right?
Wow.
So, like, people have this, like, weird narcissistic tone when it comes to people just enjoying a game. And if it's something that isn't on their device, the extra salty. And it's really annoying because, like, Starfield is a great game. Is it perfect? No, but no game's perfect. I ramble on about Mass Effect every single day. I know it might annoy people, but I mean, it's too late. And like, Mass Effect ain't perfect. The first Mass Effect game is my favorite game of all time, and I could list 100 things I don't like about that game. right? So when it comes to Starfield, like it's a damn good game. It will be interesting to see if all the people that made fun of that game every single week on Twitter, every single day on Twitter, will they post about that game all of a sudden? Will they say, hey, it's PS5 Pro Enhanced? They will, because they're hypocrites. No spying. So like that's that. And I'm sure it'll do well. It's a Bethesda game. And you know what? If it can, maybe it'll go to the Switch 2. And I think that's even bigger news and even more important because the Switch 2 is pretty much going to outsell the Xbox and PlayStation combined in like 3 years, in my opinion. Right? They apparently have like 30 or 20 million consoles ready to go. So like I think they're good. Now when it comes to the expansion, we were told that Starfield was going to have longevity. And if you look at previous Bethesda games, we've basically had, expansions for 1 to 2 years. But the way they talked about Starfield is that they want this to be continuing for years, right? So, like, you're going to have the main team working on Elder Scrolls 6, which is 2026, 2027, or whatever. But we're going to have Starfield content basically every year. There's people playing Starfield all the time. And Starfield, the best thing about Starfield is that it's a game that can evolve far beyond Skyrim COD, far beyond what Elder Scrolls.
Because it's space, right?
Yeah,
no matter where you go, Jamie, whether it be because Earth's already gone, right? We already know if you've been there, if you know, like the kids like to say. There's a whole story as to what happened and why it happened, but because it's space, it's pretty much endless on what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, look at the last DLC, right? That DLC, Shattered Space, is basically set on one planet and it's 100% handcrafted content.
Yep, correct.
And even though some people had its issues with it, the fact that it was handcrafted, you could tell, like the city, the planet, it was so much fun to go around. And I think that Bethesda know that now. They know all this stuff. They've paid attention to feedback to Starfield, unlike any other Bethesda game. Right? People wanted 60 FPS. We got the patch. People wanted a vehicle for a moon buggy. People thought we couldn't get that because of the way the creation engine works. And then we got the moon buggy. So like they are clearly paying attention to feedback. And this is Bethesda's biggest game ever, right? People can hate on it all they want, they can force hate on it, but like the endless potential for Starfield is literally ridiculous because they can do anything. They could add new planets, they could add whole new cities, right? We don't know everything that happened on Earth. Maybe there's flashback missions. They can literally do anything. The sky is literally the limit, right? So like Starfield, I think it launched, in my opinion, in a great state with a lot of amazing content. But it being a more realistic-centric RPG, I think it's going to grab more people's attention, whether it's on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch 2, PC, or whatever. Like, Starfield is going to be a platform where they can grow it for years to come, to the point where, hell, if people are still playing this game regularly on the next Xbox, potentially halfway through next generation, we're still getting new content made by Bethesda. And I think that's going to be the best thing for the game because when it comes to Starfield, when people play it, they love it. Right? When people were talking about Skyrim, yeah, people loved it. People loved that you could get all these crazy mods and have, Macho Man Randy Savage as the dragon, right? Which was funny for a meme. But like with Starfield, it's all about gameplay and the experience in the lived-in world.
Cream of the crop.
Yeah. so I think the game is completely. It's going to be fine, And I can't wait to see what they do with the expansion because I love the gameplay in that game. And like you're saying, like as I'm a fan of Mass Effect, I played Starfield in its entirety in third-person mode. And I've tried playing previous Elder Scrolls games in the past, in like Fallout 3 in third person. Let me tell you, their third-person camera up to Fallout 4, because I think Fallout 4 was actually pretty good, like absolute janky third-person movement. But in Starfield, and they learned from Fallout 4, which was better, it played amazing. And as a Mass Effect fan, I got that feeling of, hey, I'm on an adventure. So, like, Starfield's in a good place. And look, I've seen people in chat, they're sick of hearing about the multi-platform stuff. The way I see it is that we all know this is a thing now. So like them putting the little badge on the place on the Starfield thing, like it's gonna happen. And hey, if people that mock the game for 2 years straight, even before the game release, if they want to pump money into Microsoft so I get more Xbox games, so be it. Let them be hypocrites and fund Microsoft.
And again, thanks to Post Up, who did, drop that incredible information. it is releasing, or it has been slated for PlayStation 5. Now, granted, it does not say a year, but it does say, and again, you go right back to the graphic, it says available for. So I would imagine that a PlayStation 5 announcement is coming soon. When, I don't know. Let's get your thoughts on both sides of this coin. One, the expansion. Second, PlayStation 5 finally getting what I believe to be one of the best RPGs from Bethesda in the history of the company.
Yeah, and it's so much. I guess I'll say this to start off. We were talking about the hours put in, and I have looking at my 16 days, 21 hours.
Jesus Christmas, bro.
Which turns out to be 405 hours. We have Starfield guy in the chat here. He has 126 days. Yeah.
Well, that's why he's called Starfield guy. I mean, there you go.
Yeah. You got the right name for sure. Stay with that name. Don't change it. I probably couldn't tell him anything. Well, did you see this mission? Yes, I did. I didn't finish my sentence. I know what you're going to say. But yeah, so I mean, hey, kudos to you. I loved Starfield. I really did. Ultimately, I don't know where I would place it in the hierarchy of their games. I still have my Mount Rushmore of Oblivion still there. It hasn't been replaced. But this is my thing. I absolutely agree with both of you, what you said, and Jamie, I agree with you too. I hate that it's become such a standard that our Hoove brothers will downplay a game just because it's on Xbox. But as soon as it gets over there, now all of a sudden is worthy. And we're probably going to see that reflected in some review scores too. You know what I mean?
I expect IGN. I'm saying it right now, and again, no names here. You can go find out who reviewed it. I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that Starfield is not only going to get reviewed multiple times on US soil with IGN, it is going to score no less than a 9.0. And the reasoning behind this 9.0 versus the 7 that a certain games journalist gave it twice is that, it's been refined. All of the problems have been fixed. It is the better version. Trust me when I tell you that we're going to see the fraudery come out from a lot of these game journos. And you know what? I don't keep receipts because I'm too old for this shit, but I guarantee you that there's going to be receipts pulled on one version of Starfield as it was on an Xbox only machine versus, it's on PlayStation 5 Pro and PS5. You're going to see, Umbra. You will see.
I can almost believe it just knowing the history of how things have been. I almost want him to do it. I almost want him to do it. I'm dead serious. Like I want to see him the dual sense factored in. I can almost hear that. Plus it has the Shattered Space DLC combined with it. I want to, yeah. But anyway, all of that said, I guess I'll tackle the PlayStation thing. At this point, again, we should all be past the whole at this point, we all know what it is. Like we got it. We have to move past that. I know some people are like, okay, here it is. Like, yeah, but listen, this is going to happen. We have to. It does us no favors to ignore reality. I don't like to ignore reality. It's okay for us to talk about it. You know what I mean? We don't have to dwell on it to talk about it. This is going to happen. The game is going to go over there. Being a fan of Starfield and being a fan of Bethesda, my hope is that our Hoove brothers will get the game, play it, and enjoy it, and shut the hell up.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
That's a great
hope.
You
know what I mean? And let go of the hate and the tribalism. That's the biggest thing I would take away from this. And I'll say this: I saw one of a Hoove brother I know who has wrecked havoc and tribalism on Twitter for as many years as I've known him now, that I've been on there for a long time, and he came through with shining reviews of Avowed. He scored it higher than I did, in fact.
Wow.
And this is a person who was pessimistic toward Xbox and stuff like that, and antagonistic toward the fan base, and it was like, no, you guys, this game is great, blah blah blah. So I think when people get access to it, that the hate goes away. I've come to see this. It's all tribalism, and what you can't get, some people tend to hate, and that's all it is. So my hope is that when it goes over there, they enjoy the game and really, just let go of that. I was lucky enough to have played Starfield through Xbox, PC, and although it's handheld, it's a PC too, the ROG Ally. So I got a chance to play it on all these different things. And being able to mod, because they allow mods on Xbox too, but you can really go all out, on PC with much more. And so I've experienced a lot as far as like adding new characters or changing the way faces look. You can do so much. I didn't do that part, but you can do so much that it's actually pretty insane. And it's one of the beautiful things about Bethesda titles is the fan-made stuff that they put into these games. I saw one mod where that character, the little alien character in that Star Wars game that just released from Ubisoft.
Oh, the little robot from yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a little alien thing. I forgot the name of it.
Nyx.
They have that in Starfield. You can have them as a companion and running around with you as you go out on missions. Like, it's stuff like that. They have wholly created missions and mission structure that they've added, the fans have added to Starfield. And for those on the PlayStation side, our Hoove brothers, I hope you all get the game and shut the hell up and leave Jamie alone finally.
Indeed.